Wanted to give you some guidance on the reading this week. First couple of weeks of the class, you're going to be laying a foundation of knowledge about the two books, the McKinnon book on ethics and this book on public relations cases. In the ethics book, you may feel that this is very deep and going into the subject matter of ethics at a very high level. Really, what you're doing is reading it to gain background knowledge that will help you as you take this ethical material into the discipline of PR. In the public relations cases book, it'll be very much more practical. You will be reading about cases that involve ethical behavior in PR and actually the PR practice. So the two together were designed to help you really really be able to appreciate the value of ethical behavior to the field of PR. In the ethics book, you're going to be looking at ethical theory, ethical principles, and judgments. And you'll take a look at relativism, which is the concept that there is no universally accepted ethical standards exist, where this is where the philosophy that maybe was popular in the 60s, I envision it, where people just did whatever they like, do your own thing, and if it makes sense to you and feels good to you, it's okay, which really goes against the grain of the way I view ethical behavior and right and wrong. But you'll read about that, and it's good to understand it. You'll learn about how motive, action, and consequences work together, and also how being moral is considered ennobling. So even those who do not have an ethical system based on, or code of standards based on the Bible, as I do, and I know many of you do, so even those who do not have that, really, there are many people who value being ethical and find it to be ennobling and be moral and ethical behavior to actually be empowering in a way that you're considered very good. And so it's a desirable thing. So as you read that, just understand that you're gaining an overview. You're not going to be tested intensely on this. This is to give you the information that will inform you as you consider taking ethical behavior into the field of public relations. As you move through the public relations cases book, Chapter 1 is going to give you a background on public relations, and I think one of the most important things it does is bring up the fact that we do have a Public Relations Society of America, and that all PR practitioners agree to adhere to the Code of Ethics based on what the Public Relations Society of America indicates. I'm going to post a link to the Public Relations Society of America site and the Code of Ethics and their information that they provide about ethics. They have case studies and information there about ethics. And Chapter 1 also on page 10 gives you an overall plan of this book. So my hope is that you'll really read through and begin to get a feel for what's in store for you for the next few weeks. Chapter 2 is one of the best, most concise, well-written chapters on the PR process. So although you may be working in a field that is PR or related to PR, you may not be clear on the full process. So as you read this, please take notes and take a look at the audience research, the targeting. I like the Exhibit 2A about major publics. If we talk about our publics here at CBU, your publics would be faculty, staff, students, the community, the credentialing boards like WASC and the Teacher Credentialing Board in Sacramento, and nursing, policing, the nursing authorities, and in law enforcement it would be the police forces. And so you can kind of see what I mean is there's so many different disciplines at CBU that we have many different publics, and some of them will be internal publics like the faculty, staff, and others are external like the community and these various accreditation agencies. So reading page 16, 17, 18 through 21 will really give you a good overview of the publics, including the international and special publics. So taking a look, you'll see that in PR we value research, both quantitative and non-quantitative research, that we create objectives, and we have a hierarchy of PR objectives. On page 26, you have a chart there that very clearly explains there are informational, attitudinal, and behavioral objectives. Because the goal of most campaigns would be to bring people to a certain action, whether it be when we're talking about campaigns, not political, these are PR campaigns, but in a political campaign, usually the call of action is to get someone to go out and vote. in a PR campaign. It may be that you're encouraging folks to donate money, to join a cause, to make a phone call, to write a letter. There are many different objectives. To buy a product too. It can even be that simple. You'll see actions and special events chart that's very helpful too. The book is just very concisely set up to give you a good overview of the public relations process. So enjoy your reading. If you have any questions on the writing you need to do, please let me know. A lot of the learning in an online class like this takes place too individually as you email me. Maybe you're not clear on a concept. Maybe in the discussion board you bring something up and we weigh in on it. So there are oftentimes you'll see over the 8 weeks that I will post a secondary video or a web clip or an article to help explain a concept. So do feel free to either email or post a discussion board that asks further questions. Right now you're just laying the foundation. We're going to get into some very interesting things this term. So I'm very happy to have you in the class. Also be inviting you to PRSA luncheons as they come up, those who can make it, or events that I hear of in the community. God bless. Have a good rest of the week and a good weekend.